Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. And let me first draw attention to my register of interests as a member of the Institution of Engineering and Technology and a member of the Association for Computing Machinery. It's a great delight to see the members of Currie and Balerno Rotary Club here. My own father became the president of Cooper Rotary Club in 1956, which is just a few years ago. And one of my very early speeches on computing was to Cooper Rotary Club in 1973. Rotary is a very important part of our social infrastructure and does good work right across Scotland and, of course, with international reach. So it's a delight to hear of a relatively small club doing something that, without question, is benefiting people who need our support in Africa. Old computers are, of course, something that I rather like, being as I am the oldest person looking around carefully in the chamber. I think there is some value in things that have age. We can reuse them and rediscover their merits. And the reality is that although computers are obsoleted by updates in the software environment and changing fashion, they can in fact continue to operate for many years, delivering useful service. So the benefit to the environment, the benefit through reuse of old computers is of wider benefit altogether. It's worth saying myself and two pals built the first home computer in Scotland in 1975. That computer is still running. Happens to be up in Caithness with one of the combine. The issue, too, that it's worth going to. There was something in what Gordon MacDonald said about scaling up. Well, actually, in many ways, in innovation in particular, there is an intrinsic value in comparatively small teams. Innovation happens where communication between the members of a group is tight, is close. If you have a big group, it's much more difficult. And in Africa, we've actually seen where the opportunity has been created to have access to technology, genuine innovation that shows the way for people far beyond. In particular, Africa has been the place where electronic money has been developed using mobile phones to avoid people having to go to banks. They can exchange money between phones. Technology developed locally and showing us in the rest of the world that there is genuine ability to innovate if only we can give people the equipment with which to do it. The Raspberry Pi is a wonderful, tiny little computer that you can get in the palm of your hand. The American moon landing program is, of course, the genesis of the integrated chip. There was only 0.4 of a watt available for the 2K computer that navigated the moon lander down, and that required the integrated chip. Today, the integrated chip is something that is such that I now have 4 gigabytes of memory on my wrist, whereas the first computer that I programmed in the 1960s had 1K of memory. The world moves on, but that should not mean that the computers of the past are without value. And I very much welcome the Rotary Club of Currie and Balerno showing the way in which we can reuse them. I hope in particular, too, that we're seeing recycling of laptops. They seem to have a shorter fashion life cycle. And one of the important things about a laptop going out to areas where continuous access to electricity is limited is that, of course, they work when they're not connected to the mains. So I hope that if laptops have not been part of the focus, that they become part of the future focus. And I hope that this debate, as other ways in which what's going on in Currie and Balerno and in Africa becomes more widely known, the model is picked up and copied. And I hope there's no patents and no copyrights on the design of the solar berry, because it sounds a rattling good idea that I'd certainly like to see replicated elsewhere. And I certainly, the next time I meet Rotarians in the northeast of Scotland, will be drawing their attention to the example that this small Rotary Club has given us. Congratulations to them, and of course to Gordon MacDonald for bringing this debate to Parliament today. Presiding Officer.